Dig Thy Neighbor, the Beatnik Experience, Poetry Show, hosted by yours truly, Sky Covington. And I do have a co host, Shelly, and she'll come in sometimes when, when the energy is low. We have to have a sister to come in. So this show is a little different. It's a little different. And I have to figure this show out. So you have to help me figure this show out. First of all, it has nothing to do with makeup. Absolutely nothing. So, like poetry, we have to improvise. So, on Wednesday night, let me tell you, on Wednesday night, there's a lot of things going on in the poetry community. So we're very excited about that. Okay? You are watching the present. This is the thing that's going to be tricky. Because this is the thing. My apologies. This is the thing that's going to be tricky. I am so excited about having a second show. So please allow me a week or two to formulate this show, because if you've watched the first two shows, I was definitely a poet before anything else. And I was a bit provocative. I was definitely into not wearing clothes. And I did make a name for myself. I did definitely made a name for myself. But tonight's show is going to be about the name that you make for yourself. So, coming into the poetry scene, I was also coming into my sexuality. I was also coming into just a divorce, and coming into, like, who am I? I moved to New Orleans, and that's where my beatnik experience began to happen. The only safe place for a young, black, dark-skinned woman in New Orleans that wasn't paper bag brown was the library. And because I was very uncertain about church and what church meant, I didn't go to New Orleans right directly into the church. And in fact, I felt with all the doctrines and everything, I felt that church would not have me, that I was a black sheep. But at 50, at this go around, at working for WJZZ Cool TV, I have experienced some of the best of what family is. So, Roger Penzabene Jr. is the CEO and the founder. Well, not the founder, excuse me, because WJZZ, of course, was something else, but WJZZ Cool TV, he is definitely the founder. But he was the gentleman that picked something beautiful up, a flower that it wasn't a flower like a flower. It was a flower like the Gallioles. I hope I'm saying that right. The flowers that come back every season. They come back, even though, like, for example, I have some flowers in my front yard that my sister helped me plant. And they grow very large, but they slump over. And something is supposed to be so beautiful, It's not beautiful. It seems like a bother. But then, if I say that, then I'm saying that if life isn't the way it was presented to me on TV, then it's not beautiful. So with poetry, I came into poetry and I came into it hurt, bruised, raped. I'm telling you, I love this show already because this show and uh, this show can reveal in us all what who's behind the poetry, like who's behind, what is behind me, and when do I have when do I have a when do I have a moment to express what really truly happened. So I think this show will be about the beatnik experience because let me tell you, initially when Roger brought it to me, I was so gung ho about the show, but then there was something behind me saying, "But beatnik is not a black people thing." But I also ask God when I pray, which I call God Yah, and I am a poet. What what is perfection? What is my truth? What is what what words will I play with to relay my whole self? I don't even need my glasses today because everything is the truth, and the truth is easy to tell. So let's dig in it. Beatnik poetry is not just for our Caucasian brothers and sisters, but it is the offspring of the slave. It is the offspring of the slave owner. It is the offspring of the liberal. And it is the offspring of the feminist. Like now, we are dealing with the offspring. And we are. Yeah. So, with that being said, I don't think I can. Yeah, I got to put my glasses on for this. I don't think that I can say that anymore. That we are the offsprings. So, being the offspring, what does that bring? What is my language? Let's see here. So, at 19, I decided to leave my marriage. I decided to go into a land unfiltered and unfulfilled. So I began dating women, and before that, I was what you would call a experimenter. So I began to write at 15. And I began to write what 15 is. I didn't even realize at the time that 15 from where I was coming from was 15 that was the offspring of my grandmother. My grandmother was the darkest one in her family, but she was also pretty. But she came from a point of color. Okay, so this is where the poetry comes in. This is where life happens. This is where you either understand where you are, or you die. You kill yourself. I mean, you only have like two choices. So I'm going to play a tune. Ode to the beatnik era. Okay, so yeah.
Jazz was born, crying louder than fire. I mean, jazz was fire, and blues fueled jazz, and then there was the sky. It's blues, it's Dixie, it's bebop, it's swing, it's jive, it's bop, it's boogie, it's wings. This is my jazz poem. I rumble through the melodies, from street to street, from ghettos to ghettos, trying to wing and find myself in the scat of my everyday inhibitions. I pranced and danced. I romanced. I did everything that made jazz, but I was still trying to learn jazz because you see, this is my jazz poem.
Okay, yeah. So you see what's going on here. Mm-hmm.
Jazz, you were right there, right in the midst of the blood and the wind and the dust in my lips Monk, can you talk to Jimmy Blues for us and give him a kiss on his cheek as he plays the piano? Yeah. He brings some righteousness to this thing in the D. And I'm so grateful. So grateful for his fingers. Jazz knocked on my door one night, and he said, your head buried between what seems to be your legs that could not save you from their lasso. You got so much to give to this earth, so why are you going backwards? Stand up, young lady. Put your crown on and scat. Scat for the university of jazz, for the soul of jazz, for the sophistication of jazz, for the legacy of jazz. Move, queen, to the heart, queen of jazz. Remind them of where we came from and our cornbreads, they hid maps to me. Jazz. Stand up, queen. To the Mr. Dunlaps, to the Ibrahim Jones, to the Jimmy Blues, to the Motor City Josh.
All right.
Douglases.
All right. Excellent.
Let's stand up. Let's stand up, Detroit. Let's stand up. Let's stand up for jazz. 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 Jazz.
We're gonna talk about some poetry.
Go with our guest. Go with our guest.
Go ahead, yes.
Okay, yeah, me and Vito are basically just doing
Yeah.
something for Sky real quick. Can you go sit with Ian?
I'll go see.
Sorry.
Let's get it. Doing something for Sky is an understatement. That is our baby. That is our family. That is our friend, and we are here.
Hi.
This is amazing. Me and the amazing Calibri. Y'all getting a treat today.
You are. You don't get to see me.
You
on
don't
Sky
get to see.
Covington
You know
show.
what I mean? And what we on today? Some poetry?
Some poetry.
Nah, listen. I'm in your wheelhouse. I'm in your.
Oh, my wheelhouse will
I
make
mean-
it just because I do art. Make it
No, damn it. If you draw that, if you paint, if you create what you create, you done wrote a poem or two.
Okay.
You done wrote a poem or two, Calibri.
I have.
So we ain't even gonna get into the what.
I have.
I'm just curious to know the type of poetry you favor.
I don't know. I'm not. That's not really my genre.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do paint, well, let me say this: when I am writing poetry, it really is just from within.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, like, okay, so I know when I enjoy watching it and listening to it. Poets to me, I don't like all the extra deep
Yeah,
stuff. Or
I'm the
whatever.
same
We
way. I
trying
like
be
to
deep.
relax in my poetry, or get I
Yeah.
like sexy poetry. I like stuff that make me think about mine. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna pull you
Think
into
about
it.
what?
No, I mean, you know, this is, we on WJZZ. I gotta kind of tame myself. You know what I mean? But I do like the poetry that's more interpersonal. I like that poetry where someone could be flipping words when they really talking about something else. You know, I like that kind of stuff. I wish I was more into it because I think I can come off with about a good 2 or 3 bars of poetry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, all right. So, were you like a writer like back in the day, or you never?
I never really pushed myself to that. I
Mhm.
do write. I write
I
stories.
know you do. I think you sleeping though.
Yeah.
She is a writer, y'all. This
Yeah.
is Calibri Harris. You better understand. She just laid back right now. Stories.
I write stories. I do get into poetries, but like I said, when I do write, it's simple stuff and it's just more like mental notes. So it's off the wall. It's where a chance where I get to be kind of fake deep.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm telling you, look.
And they go along with paintings. When I have wrote poetry,
There we
it's
go.
been going along with whatever painting I've done in that moment. So
I wrote
it
a
kinda helps
poem
to
before.
explain it. What's
In
your
high
poem?
school.
What is it? How
I
it
had a
go?
girlfriend at the time, but I wrote another girl a poem. And I typed it. That way she couldn't get my hand right.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I did it for real, y'all. I'm so
Lord,
sorry. I'm not even gonna say
and
your
look how
name
they
if you
do.
know I did. No, I learned mine. I got better over time. I did, and it was the best fucking poet.
What was it about?
It was like I used to like see her in between classes. I know she was crushing on me, but she knew I had a crazy Mexican girlfriend. I love, shout out to Latinas. It was, and she, I just had to write her the poem, Calibri, and I wrote her the poem, and she gave it to my girlfriend.
Cuz.
My girl.
How you gonna write another poem for somebody else and you got a girlfriend?
Shout out
It
to
don't
her.
matter
I'm
that
so
it's a
sorry.
poem.
I was a whole a-hole. But look, she gave it to my girlfriend. Girl wrote to me. You write poetry. You write a poetry.
Typed poetry.
I said,
Still got
baby, do I talk like that? Come on. I'm wrong, y'all. I got mine over time. But I did use poetry as a wooing agent. You know what I mean? When you're sharp with the words, when you got a silver tongue, you use it as a wooing agent. Now, later in life, I started to understand the similarity between music and poetry. And I favorite that. Sort of how you favorite painting and the arts. I favorite music. And I just kind of saw that as the way that was easier for me to express it. Now, somebody like Sky, she's versatile.
does her thing.
Sky does everything. Sky is across the board with it. She does beatnik poetry, she does music, she does jazz, she does rhythm and blues, and she even taps into the hip hop. Poetry, I remember what was the one Def Poetry?
Poetry Jam.
Man,
I
them
used to
brothers,
love
was,
Def
them
Poetry
sisters,
Jam.
them people was bad, man. They was bad. I couldn't do it, Khalid.
Well, I like too that you touched on just how you used it as a way to romantically, you know, but at the end of the day, I do look at it as a form of expression. You know, it's a way to be eloquent, you know, a way to play with words. And I admire the people that can do that. And also with poetry, as opposed to just, now when you put it with music and you actually do put poetry with music, it's out cold
it's
with it.
amazing.
We're getting away from that.
Yeah.
But it's out cold when you do it because you're tapping into emotions that I think that you can't speak on during regular conversation. I think that's what makes poetry so cold.
Yeah, and like even when I used to like call myself using it as a wooing agent, I would start off just talking to myself. And I think I used to love people who could translate that into a poem. I could do that with I could freestyle to myself and translate that into a song. But it's just a different type of focus you have to have. You know what I mean? To be able to take something and Brother Caesar, Kelly's from Entertainment with Kelly Patrick, her brother. Oh my God, Caesar Toriano, that brother deep with the words. But he was one of those people who he could bridge that gap between thought and rhythm. And when it came to poetry, I felt corny. Like I was reaching. Like some dudes was some they was just fluent. I was just roses all free. I was that type of brother.
And I hate that.
Oh, me and you.
This is what I mean by the fake deep. Because I love all different types of poetry, but it is like when you come out, and I just want to give you I'm sorry to whatchamacallit, but I just want to give you some injections of sublime erections and make it. I hate Love Joe.
No, listen, but I
hate Love Joe. I hate Love Joe's poetry.
I love Love
I
Joe.
wanted to come through you.
Yes, you're right.
And be original. You know, not to say that sex can't be original, but don't hit me with the fake deep, because sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it can be simple. We don't always hear those simple poems because everybody wants to go there.
That's right.
Know.
That's right. When your best voice, your biggest voice.
Space and so I don't want to hear all of that.
No, I don't. I do know people who want to, but it be like, man, damn, like I can't follow the first two things you said. You know, but I do like those people, like I said, when they take entendres, double entendres, and flip it, and they take allegory and they flip it, and they bring you to a creative space and make you almost want to be a writer. I love that shit. Like I remember being in poetry lounges with my brothers, and I remember they used to get most of the attention. I was a young boy at the time. They got the attention. I remember, and everything is connected to sensuality with me. But I remember I did this poem, and I mean, I killed it, Khalid. I killed it. I picked it. I saw everybody else's poems, and then I was like, yo, I got this. And I did this poem, so I killed it, right? Dropped the mic, walked off. I seen this beautiful Halle Berry sister walk from the back of the spot, walking around. So I'm like, man, she don't want me. You know what I mean? She walked right. And we jam.
Hey, caller. You're speaking to the Amy the artist in Vito, Pennsylvania, filling in for Sky Covington.
The amazing, the beautiful, the amazing.
Who are we speaking with today?
This is Dallas Thomas.
Yay! What's up? We're jamming. We're digging thy neighbor. All right.
I started calling you with a young number. I said, I'm going to get through no matter what.
That's what I'm talking about. You are actually our first call, so we thank you for breaking the ice for us. What's on your mind?
I'm a new up-and-coming artist today and yesterday and every day.
Okay.
And, yeah. I was told to call. And,
how can we listen to some of your music?
Well, when you say artist, what kind of artist are you? What is your form of art?
A spoken word artist. A spoken word artist.
Spoken word artist.
Oh my God! So you know.
So can I put you on the spot?
Yeah,
can we hear some of your poetry?
Let's get it.
Which one? Christian brother?
Huh?
Christian brother?
I can't hear you.
Any poetry you want to say?
Okay, let's do Christian brother.
Yeah.
I don't need no Christian brother. I need a fine wine brother. The kind you take home to mother. Not that sweet vodka brother. Let me decide, type of brother. I'm your ride or die. This here is refined, sweet red wine. No Christian brother Patron. I need that alkaline.
Yeah. Now you said that's new?
I'm sorry?
That is nice. That was amazing. You said that's new work?
Thank you. Well, that's on the new EP. The first EP, actually. It's called A Message from the Goddess.
That's very nice. Now, how long have you been doing poetry?
I think the poetry's been in my heart and in my life forever. It's just I had an incident where my husband passed on, and it gave me time to reflect on a lot of different things, and it just got me closer to what I was feeling on the inside, and I brought it out through poetry.
Bless.
I appreciate you
Yes,
that.
thank you for
I
calling
appreciate you
in, sister.
doing that.
Thank you for that.
You.
Thank
Now,
you.
would you
Thank you
have
for
any
having me on.
tips for any other? Because you said that you're emerging,
Mm-hmm.
which takes a lot of courage. You know what I mean? I feel like once you are out there, that makes you a professional. You know, really, that's what
Mhm.
steps. That's the difference between you sitting on the wall.
Yeah, and really
You
being
know,
active and getting it.
yeah, yeah.
Do you
Would
have any tips for other
anybody
people?
that would want to take that leap of faith?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you have any
Other,
tips or words of encouragement for anybody else that might want to take that leap of faith and write and actually share their
I would,
work?
yes, I would say don't be afraid to share your soul with the world because that's what you're going to be doing. I would also say don't listen to what other people have to say negative. Just be positive and know that whatever you're doing is for the spiritual world and for your heart fulfillment and your life purpose.
Yes.
That's why I do it. I don't know about anybody else.
Yes. I love it. I
Thank
love
you.
that
Thank
energy.
you. Thank you so much. Now, where
Thank you.
can everybody check you out at?
That's what I want to know.
You guys can check me out on, this is EP number 2. The second EP is called 2021 Vision. That's hard pulling out my soul as well. You can find me on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. I got just like 4 videos on YouTube as well with different songs that I have done. Christian's brother is going to drop. The video is going to drop real soon. Probably next couple of days. I'm still iffy on it.
Out here.
So on all the platforms, pretty much.
Okay.
She
All right.
working. I
Thank
love
you.
it.
One more time for
Yeah.
our viewers, give her your name, your promo name, please.
My promo name is Goddess Tara. I'm also on Anchor too with a podcast. You can catch me there as well as Goddess Tara or Afro Omega. Music label is I also have a label too. I have a new artist as well. I wanted to throw in there.
She's doing it all.
She's my new artist. I'm excited about her. We're starting from the ground, working our way up. We going hard.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Goddess Tara. I'm going to be on the
Thank you.
lookout. Don't forget about
Yes.
us.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yes, come on now.
Thank you. Well, that was
Okay.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was. I love that. I love the calls. And listen, y'all better watch out, man. I'm sitting across from Calibri now. I'm swing, iron sharpen iron. I'm gonna get sharp, Calibri.
Okay.
They ain't ready for me out
They
here.
ain't ready for you?
We was at the jazz thing. We was. Hey, I was looking all right. I threw a jacket on.
Oh, Lord.
I threw the suit jacket. Anybody gonna know me
Lord.
around here? T-shirts all
You
day.
was looking crispy.
I
You were
looked
looking
all right. I
crispy.
cleaned
You
up
were
well.
looking
You was
crispy.
looking good. But I see when you in go mode, you ain't the people with.
No.
No, listen, y'all. She was in looking amazing. She had the
Thank
Coming to
you.
America 2 dress on,
Oh,
killing it.
Lord.
It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. If you
Thank
didn't see that, she had the real shit. It was amazing. I'm
Thank
fucking
you.
with But look, but really, man, it was. You know, I'm one of them people who like the simple things. And when I watch you and Debbie or my dad or other people in different elements, it's like, oh, that's a different Calibri. That's one, you know what I mean, orchestrating and putting things in order. So that was cool. I just wanted to share y'all a little window into our life. WJZZ.
Thank you. Yeah, make sure you go tomorrow, St. Regis Hotel with the Drake Legacy Jazz Series.
Yes.
Dress
I'm gonna
up.
punish
Dress
it.
up.
Yeah.
But I like that she talked about stepping out, you know, because I think that we have a lot of poets that think that it has to be a certain type of way, you know, and don't share their craft. That's probably me too, because I don't do all that extra stuff. I have a poem. I have one actually that I did in high school that was from a male perspective, but it was about a man losing his wife during childbirth.
It wouldn't sound true though. It wouldn't sound
Right,
true.
right.
Lose my wife
But
doing
she
child
was,
support.
she was dying and she was giving birth, and it was about what that must have felt like, basically watching life go as life is coming in. And I don't know what made me write it.
Yeah.
I don't, but you know, I just thought I like writing stories,
Yeah.
you know, and that was the way I can do it creatively. I just wanted to express the emotion. And not so much, I don't know, all the spaceships and outer space.
I can't
busts
do
and
it. I don't know.
penetrations and
The solidified
I
energy
don't know all of
within
that.
the
I'm
me.
sorry
The
if I'm
synergy
offending
with the
anybody.
chemistry and the added up because 1 + 3 = 4 more.
Yeah.
You and me's. Come on,
I
my
miss,
brother. What the
I
hell?
miss Def Poetry Jam. No, I really do, because it showed us a wide range of poets.
Yeah.
Shout out to T. Miller, who God, She is
killing it.
absolutely amazing. She's actually a
killing
Kresge
it.
fellow too, but she does all different types of poetry, tells stories. She does different perspectives about Detroit, the stuff that you don't want to hear, raw. You know,
Yeah.
I love it. I love that.
I love that she does, and she does a great job at commercial drops. So we
man.
go turn this over here.
Yes, that's right.
Y'all
You
like
are
how I did that.
watching. What are we watching? The Sky Covington show.
Dig
live.
Thy Neighbor. That's what
Dig
it
Thy
is.
Neighbor. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Dig Thy Neighbor.
You're watching Dig Thy Neighbor live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and all other top social media platforms. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you'd like to sponsor this show or this station, make sure you email us at WJZZCoolTVOfficial@gmail.com. You're watching WJZZ Cool TV.
I'm in the room and she
Station
looking at me,
as well.
stare at her too. No, but you know what I mean? Like, I love that part. I love when I get to kind of come in here and see what y'all do and all that type of stuff and work with you. Listen, I do have, I won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
There was one very important moment poetry did play in my life. The very man that gave me this piece, you know what I mean, from the motherland herself, he was an activist in his city. Peace and Love Day was named after him. Everyone who knows me know I walk in his shadow eternally. But brother, where you see Sola, a great man. If you know him, you know him. If you don't, you should. But he, when I met him, I was at Randolph Vocational Center. And I was in a painting and decorating class, and I went across the hall because I was building the judge desk for a great brother named Dale Seaton. And I'm building it, and I came in, I see these two brothers, and they're sitting in wheelchairs. And I'm like, okay, I ain't never seen nothing that looked like that. Like, they was in wheelchairs, but they
never seen
looked.
nobody in a wheelchair.
At that time, I don't think I did.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, really.
I'm messing with you.
Seriously,
Okay.
at that time I
Okay.
didn't. I don't think I ever like a young brother. I
Okay.
seen it in relation to
Okay.
elders, but I never seen it like that. And I'm
Okay.
like,
Okay.
what the, you know? And then they had a swag. So anyway, I went across the hall and said, yo, I gotta come back with it. I asked him, he said, take the whole class. So I brought my whole class over to see these brothers speak. And they ended up being a group called the Pioneers for Peace. They were out of Detroit Medical Center Rehabilitation Institute, and I think Isaiah Thomas was one of the fiduciaries.
Okay.
And so I heard him speak, and I was dead to wreck somebody that day. And after hearing him, it just challenged everything I knew about men. So I said, I got a poem. And I don't remember the whole poem. I just remember a part. So he's like, he used to sit like this. He's like, all right, young brother, what you got to say? So I got up. Y'all got to bear with me because I don't remember it. But I was a deep brother, so I was one fish, two fish a little bit. So I was like, the struggle is over, huh? No, the struggle ain't over. It's just more complex.
Okay.
Surfacing in any race, any color, any culture, any sex. See, we contradict ourselves by telling fables of these false ambitions, straining to compose detailed visions on how we should be living.
Okay.
Using religion as a safety net to catch our fallen ways, sending false praise to a higher God to get us through our lost days. It got the nerve to utter the frame you ashamed, a stranger to shame. And then I don't know what the rest was. But I don't know. I was going in, right? You know what I mean? I was going in.
I
was
like
on
that.
I was on my stuff, right? So I'm seeing these brothers. And they sitting there, because one brother was where you see all the Sola, of course. The other brother was a brother named Mario Dixon, who's the adaptive sports coordinator currently at Detroit Medical Center.
Okay.
Currently still doing work in schools everywhere. And they like, what? And ever since then, I was rolling with them. So poetry gave me a way to speak to them, because I was completely overwhelmed. It was nothing. It was like meeting Denzel to me that I didn't know was Denzel. And they ended up creating the man that's sitting across from you to a degree. You know, so shout out to poetry, man.
That's what's up. And I'm glad too that was an outlet for you to be able to use your voice. Because would you have had that conversation?
No, and I would have. And that's the thing. I think when people like me can meet people like you and pick with you because we think you're so great, right? Like, we see what you do and we see where you are and we see what you continue to do. It's like, you don't do poetry, go do that. But it's not. That's not, some people who choose to do it gotta wait for moments. And then others write all day, but it's not for you. It's more like journaling for them. So I encourage people, it's not about performing poetry, but it's too good of a way out of your mind, not to at least try to write yourself. So write your way out of your thoughts sometimes. That's what I would encourage.
I take that challenge. I need to
write your way out of your thoughts. Y'all heard it on Dig Thy Neighbor
I like
now.
that.
Yeah.
It is, for me, it is like journaling, but I don't do it.
I
like
know
I
you
should.
right. Yeah, but it's not for the world. And think about it. Like, I don't mean to pick with you, but what are you picking with? That shit probably is, excuse my language, but that's probably too big right now for the world around. And it's like, keep it until it's time to light that ball.
Well, I wouldn't do it to share because I don't do it to be sweet.
Y'all
Whenever
better
I
hope she
am
never
writing
do.
stuff, I do write.
Y'all better
It's
hope.
something that just comes out. Like over the winter time, I found myself writing, journaling, because I was painting this winter, and I actually was painting about love and sex and relationships a lot through the winter time. That's whatever was happening. That's what was coming out. I was crying and stuff. Like, I don't know what was coming out, but where it was coming from. But that's what was coming.
That's crazy.
And,
Channeling.
Channeling. Yeah.
Channeling.
And I caught myself, I was painting a lot about water. But again, it was from sex. So I was painting water and ocean, not like that.
Water got
but
some
ocean.
mythological kind
Well,
of
that's why I
content, no?
wrote. That's
Okay,
why I
you know
wrote
where
to
I'm
go
thinking.
along with the paintings, because it was ocean.
Okay.
You know, I wrote about Father Time and Mother Earth, you know, and basically one being the ocean and one being the land, and, you know, just kind of splashing, you know, and just, I know this was...
No, we going there.
Subjective,
Listen, y'all, we all got a
no,
little
but,
one fish in us.
You know,
Are we about ready?
no, we're doing the show.
Yeah. That's it. Listen,
That's
this
Debbie
is family.
LaFrette, guys. Hey!
Let's
get it.
Dig
Do
Thy
the show,
Neighbor.
okay.
Yeah.
Get down to Dirty Talking Artists coming next, y'all.
Yes, we are.
It's coming
Yes.
next. I
But
love it.
yeah, I definitely use it as a way to I never actively tried to, so now I feel like
Yeah.
I'm taking that as a challenge. Well, I will actually. I'll put it on the paper and see what I come up
And
with.
then I gotta tell you, sometimes it's not about being conventional. Cause I gotta tell you, when you listen to that "I Have a Dream" speech, does that not sound like poetry? Does
It
that
does.
not sound poetic to a degree? So I think poetry in the right hands is like your gospel. You know, it's gonna come off a little different than everybody else. Cause that's your bop. Like when I wrote that, you could tell I was in a place. That poem that I spoke to my brothers, you could tell I was in a place of like I could tell you where I was. I was listening to a lot of people 10 plus years my senior tell me my life ain't as hard. At the time I was writing that. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, well, I don't know how your life was. All I know is when they throw a stone at me now, it hurts. You know, so I think, you know, what I really urge people to do, like, and then I love this poetry that's real fast. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a name for it. I'm uncouth, but I love it when it's just like 8 or 9 sentences. Like I encourage everybody just do it real quick.
Remind me quick.
And
Get
hit
to
your
the
best
point.
friend up real quick. Listen real quick. Don't say nothing. I don't need your critique. Just listen. Hit her with that. Brothers don't use that voice. But brothers be like, hey, man, check it out. You know what I mean? And check it out. And really, I'm telling you, there are probably more talented writers out there than they know.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
We walking this time down, man.
And I'm actually I like the idea of how you use analogies when you speak, because you use analogies, period.
I do it all the time.
You know, but that's really all poetry is. It's analogies, you
Yeah.
know, and being relatable to another generation or somebody that maybe wouldn't relate to you, or even maybe afraid to speak on something that they're going through.
Yeah.
But I like that as a tool because, like you said, it might be talking to an old head.
Yeah, yeah.
You're saying, man, it's hard. They won't get that all the time. But hearing an analogy, like you said, I don't know what that means then. I just know when I get hit right now,
Yeah.
it hurts. You know, when I get hit by stones, it hurts.
Yeah.
That's something that you could pause and think, okay, I get it, young brother.
That's what they think, and then they respect me a little more, y'all. They get the feeling that I'm listen, but that's why, you know, and I play with it. But for everybody listening to me and may be able to relate to the person getting stone thrown at, I was ready. I was armed. I could defend myself verbally. I could talk to anybody. I could understand. When I wasn't really into a lot of things, but when I did meditate, I meditated for the same 3 things over and over: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Okay.
And if I added in a 4th, it was interpretation. So listen, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of stones, but are you armed in that moment? because that ain't the thrower's fault if you ain't ready to fight back. And so I educated myself a little bit, and I use poets and poetry, and I use creatives, and I use writers and eccentric thinkers, and people who thought outside the box to frame mine. And I think that's what makes me kind of rap and riddle all the time, or rhyme and riddle all the time. But it's dope, man. Dig in thy neighbor. You know what I mean? It's dope. See, she in that deep zone right now. She in that deep zone. I know clearly she in that deep.
I haven't thought about it before like that. So have you ever released anything through poetry?
No. Now I could be lying, because when I was a kid, you know how they let you publish little stuff in the papers and stuff. I think my high school or my middle school did that once, but personally no, because I think for the same reason you never thought. It was like it's no way for me not to go too deep, right? Like I'm coming from a place I know. I'm not writing poetry, and I know I'm gonna do that. So it's like I'll feel so exposed through poetry. And that's the mental block I gotta take down first. And I know it sounds crazy, because if you an extrovert, how can you be? But poetry is one of them extremely revealing things, and I don't know how to veil it yet. You know what I mean?
You're not supposed to veil it.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's exposing. So you start talking about life, and I think that's why I love poets, because they don't have fear. They can probably translate into any job in this world. Poets and comedians, man, I gotta tell you, I love the hell out of them, because they don't have fear, and you gotta be fearless to do what they do. But when you try to do what they do, you realize what you can't. And I know with poetry, I can't just write happy. I tried before. It always goes to a place of hurt, and that makes me feel vulnerable. And then it's like, okay, I'll do that later when it's time to put out the books and stuff. You know what I mean? But you're right. You might spark in. I tell you what, you make a painting, and then I'll drop the poem for it. There it is. Dig thy neighbor, y'all. You can close this out. Are we almost there? Are we there? Listen, y'all. I love this part, because for me, Sky Covington has shown that she created a platform that you never know what you can get from it. You know what I mean? You never quite know who could be here building with you, who could be here inspiring you. And I hope that someone who came to see that beautiful queen, heard at least an acceptable stand-in. And I love Calibri. You see me thinking when I talk. I love Calibri. I love this show. It's amazing.
This guy is absolutely wonderful. Like, just multi-talented, multi-passionate, just...
That's my guy. I love Sky. I love her whole style. I love when she come in. It's like, hey, peace, brother. How are you?
Yeah, but she the truth.
Oh my God.
She's like, yes,
truth.
Queen, how are you? But she a whole...
And don't try to
whole train coming at you.
And look, plug on the low. The plug. You talking about knowing people, Sky Covington is the plug. She's the plug. Listen, this is the Sky Covington Dig Thy Neighbor show. We are here showing love to our family member. This is the great...
Leave the artist. Hi.
And I'm just little old me, VP Vito, Benny, or whatever my dad calls us. This is Dig Thy Neighbor. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe.